Lou Dobbs, formerly of Fox News, he's still doing some talking. And in this particular instance, he went on to talk with Matt Gaetz. And he is damn sick of these rhinos in Congress. And in fact, Kevin McCarthy cannot be speaker. Let's find out who he thinks should be.
My opinion that Kevin McCarthy wants to be speaker when the Republicans win in November. It's outrageous. He is too much of I'll be kind, if not rhino, a middle of the roader. I personally believe him to be outright a rhino. And the party needs strength, it needs vision, it needs energy, vibrancy, and new blood in leadership. It's that simple.
Could you be excited about a speaker, Jim Jordan?
You bet I could be excited about Jim Jordan, as you well know. I think highly of him. I think highly of you. I think you should be in there as well.
Oh yeah, those bright shining stars, those up and comers of the Republican Party, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan. Oh, they're wonderful, really? They're the smartest, they're the brightest. Well, let's start with Jim Jordan, the smartest and the brightest. Remember those times, a couple of times on air, he couldn't get his story straight about whether or not he spoke to Trump during the Capitol attack. Watch.
Did you talk to the former president that day?
I've talked to the former president umpteen times, thousands. I mean, not thousands
on
times,
January
but countless times. I talked to the president. I never talk about what we talk about.
There's some confusion over what you told Bret Baier on Fox News on Tuesday night, so I want to clear it up. First off, yes or no, did you speak with President Trump on January 6th?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke with the president last week. I speak with the president all the time. I spoke with him on January 6th. I mean, I talk with President Trump all the time, and that's I don't think that's unusual. I would expect members of Congress to talk with the president of the United States when they're trying to get done the things they told the voters in their district to do. I'm actually kind of amazed sometimes that people keep asking this, but of course I talk to the president all the time. I talked with him, like I said, I talked with him last week.
On January 6th, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go. I spoke with him that day after. I think after. I don't know if I spoke with him in the morning or not. I just don't know. I'd have to go back and I mean, I don't know that when those conversations happened. But what I know is I spoke with him all the time.
My man looks stressed. I mean, when you're talking that fast, I mean, maybe it was after morning. Either way it goes, maybe you should have slowed down a little bit because we're not done with Jim Jordan. He also accidentally let go that Donald Trump might be running in 2024 as if no one else knew that, but he was supposed to keep that under wraps too. Here's that smart guy again.
President Trump, he's going to run again.
You think so?
I know so. Okay. I talked to him yesterday. He's about ready to announce after all this craziness in Afghanistan.
Thank God. Yeah, like invite him. Yeah, part of my friend, kind of.
He said he's really bad. Really bad.
Okay, well, I want to know.
Well, thank you for coming.
There's Jim Jordan. Let's jump down to the fifth one, you guys, because I want to get straight to Matt Gaetz, who was also floated by Lou Dobbs, the Honorable Lou Dobbs, for speakership. So if we don't, in case you guys don't remember, Matt Gaetz is also under investigation for some pretty serious charges as far as sex trafficking, underage girls, and things like that. And he had to explain himself as well to Tucker Carlson, who didn't want to hear any of this. Let's watch Matt Gaetz.
I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there and I brought a friend of mine, you'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so I'm not the only person on screen right now who's been falsely accused of a terrible sex act. You were accused of something that you did not do. And so you know what this feels like. You know the pain it can bring to your family.
You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago. And of course it was not true. I'd never met the person.
Oh man. So Tucker wanted nothing to do with that accusation either. Man, these guys are so smart. You know, they'd be great with top secret information. They'd be great with conveying issues to each other. They can get things done, like bumbling on camera, Rick.
All right. There is no better thing I have seen than Matt Gaetz saying, I know I'm bad, But let me bring down the house with other people who have also potentially taken part in terrible things. It is Republicanism 101, where, hey, I know that I might have a shady record, but you were falsely accused. And for people who don't know, it's like, well, wait a minute.
Totally.
Wait, let me hit up the Google for a second and see what I could find on this accusation. So going in order, Jayar. First, it's Lou Dobbs. If we could throw up Lou Dobbs once more. I love how you preface him by saying the honorable Lou Dobbs. Like he is about as honorable of a man as his hair color. What he does to that thing repeatedly is kind of a work of art, but also it's sort of like bad. So seeing them go after like Kevin McCarthy, I know we talked about this last week, but it's so interesting to see how they go after their own because they keep shifting further and further right. So like Matt Gaetz went after him, Lou Dobbs, who honestly I hadn't heard of since he was fired, left, whatever, Fox. Don't even know what he's up to anymore. This is the first time that I've really heard of him because he was speaking with a accused pedo in Matt Gaetz. But I do love how they're saying, yeah, well, I'd be all with Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz. And what do these people have in common? They took part in, allegedly, or were credibly accused of sexual assault. Jim Jordan's going back to Ohio State when he decided, when he was an assistant coach there, that some of the wrestlers who came to him and said this is a problem with Dr. Richard Strauss, who sexually assaulted well over 100 wrestlers, he did nothing. So this is the ethics that they have. They could say whatever they want. The underlying pattern is they will continue to hitch their wagon to Trumpism and go further and further right because it's really all they got in the end.
It's true. And by the way, so since Trumpism is their thing, here's the last thing that actually sums up what Lou Dobbs is looking for in a new speaker, just to finish this whole thing. And it's from Eric Drewer on Twitter, says, if you ain't under investigation, you ain't under consideration.
Well done.
That's the way.
Yes.
That's the law that Lou Dobbs lives by because he's still a minion for Donald Trump.